Hello students, welcome back. In the previous video we talked about Desmos Graphing Calculator. I'm not going to talk about Wolfram Mathematica. It's great, but unless you're going to be majoring in mathematics, it's going to be difficult software to learn. Once you master, then it's really powerful, but I think majority of the students are not going over to mathematics major, so I'll just leave this for students who are interested, but I'm not going to spend class time on it. As for Desmos, by now I assume everybody earns some proficiency on it. So let's talk about some examples. Solving some equations using graphs. For example, we have this kind of equation. How do you handle it? One way to handle it is to move everything to the left and then get something equal to 0. So make this into something equal to 0. So far so good. Move everything, and then what did he end up with? We ended up with a cubic equation. Oh my, how do we solve it? And that's not something we discussed yet. It is possible to do it. No, excuse me, I take it back. No, it's not possible at all. This is technology only example. Okay, all right. Now, what we're going to do is to graph this and then find out when we have 0, y coordinate equal to 0. Let's go to that Desmos Graphing Calculator. And then y equals x cubed minus 3x plus 1, was it? Minus 1. Okay, that's my graph. And then when this thing is equal to 0, in other words, the y coordinate is equal to 0, we have solution. As a matter of fact, Desmos Graphing Calculator is so good that it suggests those points. Yes. Negative 1.532, negative 0.0347, and then this one, 1.879. If I go close and click, then I can see these points. But pretend we can't see any of those, okay? And then let's look for this one. How do you do that? Zoom in. Zoom in, zoom in, and you can see this 1.8 something, less than 1.9, and greater than 1.85. You can see that. Zoom in and in further. So 1.879, 1.7895 something. So I can estimate it as approximately 1.789. Let's go back to the problem. And that graphing method yielded x is approximately equal to 1.789. And then there were two more solutions. Let's go back to this. This was one, but there were two more solutions. It's here, and then the other two are over there. But as a matter of fact, Desmos Graphing Calculator is so good that I don't really have to go to this zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. All I have to do is move my mouse and then click nearby point, and it gives me. So either way, it'll work out. That's the graph. Okay, same graph produced by Mathematica. And then if you just eyeball it here, at this stage, you're going to get about nearly 1.5, about negative 0.3, and 1.9, you can see those. But if you zoom in, you can see things better. This is Mathematica solution. What is that? Okay, all right. So that's one way to handle an equation problem. Here's another way to handle the equation problem using crossing points. So produce two graphs. Y equals to something, y equals to something. Produce two graphs. Kind of like this. This is by Mathematica, but I can go to a Desmos and do the same thing as well. Let's go back there. X cubed minus x. Okay, all right. Let's get out of here. Y equals x cubed minus x. Okay, there goes one graph. That's good. And 2x plus 1. Y equals 2x plus 1. Let's see. Did I copy correctly? Left hand side and right hand side. Okay. I have those here. And these two have to be the same, right? X cubed minus x, 2x plus 1. They have to be the same. So we have to find points that are in both blue and green. And we have three such points. One here, and one here, and one there. And as before, Desmos is giving you approximate solutions. Now, if you don't have this approximate solutions, suppose that you're using some kind of TI-84 calculator, not fancy Desmos calculator. In that case, you'll have to do something like this. Look for this, zoom in, and then let's see, what's the x coordinate here? 1.85. Can you read these gray characters here? Zoom in further. Okay. Okay, that looks good. 1.879, 1.795. So this is closer to 1.879. So that's gonna be my approximate solution if I get zoom in. And that's how you use your handheld calculator, which are not really good. But if you use Desmos graphing calculator, as a matter of fact, all you have to do is move your mouse close and then click. And then you actually have these solutions here. So x-coordinate values are the solution: 1.879, negative 0.347, negative 1.532. Those are solutions. Let's go back to this Mathematica notebook here. And indeed, those are those solutions. And yes, those are those solutions. So what's the moral of the story? Whenever you have equations, it is possible to use graphical method. And if you use great graphical tool like Desmos graphing calculator, you can do this much more easily. If you use not so good graphical tool like TI-84 calculator, then it's going to be a little bit harder, but you can still do that. All you need to do is zoom in, and then read the x-coordinate value with appropriate rounding. Then you're going to get your answer. That's how those equations and graphs are related, and that's how you use technology. Of course, there are other uses of technology as well, but as far as equations are concerned, that's how you do it.